the trending topic on manifestation.
And he's now living stories that are not true.
How the self-love will impact.
I bring the energy of Source God energy through me. Sometimes another door has to shut.
If you're ready to shift your energy and step into a more fulfilling life, you won't want to miss this conversation. In this series of Manifesting Your Dream Life, I'm thrilled to welcome our guest, Terrie Christine, an internationally acclaimed energy healer and celebrity relationship coach with nearly 2 decades of experience. You may have seen her on Bravo's The Real Housewives of Potomac, OWN Network's Love and Marriage DC, or hear her insights on Hay House Radio and Good Morning Washington. Terrie has helped countless individuals break through emotional barriers, cultivated self-love, and create deep, meaningful relationships both with themselves and others. She is also the author of The Secret Power of You, a guide to mastering your inner greatness, where she shares powerful insights on unlocking your full potential.
Welcome to Mayuri's Occult Talk Show. Today's our guest, Terrie Christine. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you for having me. I love your studio. It's gorgeous. I appreciate your time.
Taking time and coming all the way here and meeting in person and giving the podcast to us. It means a lot for me.
I'm so grateful. Thank you. I appreciate that. I look forward to sharing a lot of information to your listeners and also to you.
Today's my first question, the trending topic on manifestation.
Yes.
People with no idea, no goals. How can a beginner identify their goals or wishes to start manifestation?
I consider myself a master manifester. But there's multiple levels of what you need to do to get to that space. So it's not just saying that you want to have it. You have to believe as number one that you can have it. Many people
Believe in the desire.
Believe in, it's more than the desire. It's the belief of the end result.
End result.
That's right. Believing that, yes, I have the value of having it. I can create it. I am one with it. There's multiple things, as I was able to explain in those 3 steps. And when you get to that space, then there's other elements to it. Being in gratitude. And it's more than just this gift of oneness that you and I have right now. It's the clothes on our bodies, the warm water in the shower, the jewelry that decorates our bodies, right? It's saying, I am so grateful for everything that I have and more. Meaning that you are going to be the magnet to create the end more, A-N-D, more, to the end result. And so manifesting is the space of being one with your end result and knowing that you are, and that's K-N-O-W, that you are in that space of the trajectory, the path of, right? And then it just starts happening. But many people end up losing track of what's around them because they have their eye on the prize, as we could say, right? Meaning that you could think that I want a better job. Here's a perfect example. And then they get terminated from that job and think that's a bad thing. But in order to get to that better job they're saying they're wanting to create, sometimes another door has to shut in order for the other one to open and to be able to create. So being able to say, I'm grateful, even though it doesn't feel so great, but being grateful to saying, okay, this is the end of that experience. I wasn't really happy with it. It wasn't pleasant for me. It wasn't supporting my mind, body, and spirit. Then, okay, I'm so grateful that I was let loose from that so I can soar into what it is that I want. But many people will see that that's a negative thing versus being something positive to catapult them into their end result.
Yeah, so they don't embrace what they have got and they carry the negative and move forward with the another end result.
Exactly. Instead of going and hanging on to the negative, looking at it as positive. Here's how I see it. When you're having something that feels very negative, and you were trying to manifest something that's moving into your end result, right? If saying that, okay, let's just breathe through it. It doesn't feel good. Let's just ground through it, visualizing roots coming out of the bottom of my feet so that I can say, I'm grounding through this. I'm not going to allow that feeling to own me, meaning it could take you down, give you a sense of depression, give you a sense of lost in loss, right? But saying, okay, I'm going to ground myself from that experience and know that I can move over here in this direction and create what it is that I want, because this wasn't really what I was really satisfied with. But here's the caveat, is that you created that too. You created the things that you were hanging on to. You manifested that because it wasn't feeling right for you. So you manifested it and hanging on to it and saying it can change and I want it to change. And it's not if you, on the other side, you're saying, I don't like it. I hate it. I want to get out of it. And then the universe created that to put you over in this space because you're one with it. And your thought was saying, I don't want to be here. So God says, poof, all right, go over here now. It works just like that.
So, can anybody manifest for their good health? Or not only for themselves, but for their loved ones also? Can they do that?
Okay, so you have two different situations here. You have yourself and you have a loved one. Yes, of course, let's talk about the loved one. We can pour love into them, give them everything of support that can allow them to feel lifted. However, it's all within them that they have to receive your love, feel lifted from your love, that can catapult them there, but they really have to do that as well. So they're an individual soul in a separate body. And so we can, as I said, pour into them and help lift them, but they have to be willing to receive it, hear it, acknowledge it, love it, trust it. Do you see all of these things? There's so many. Look at them like little seeds, right? Each thing is a little seed that is going to help the garden grow. And so if they're receiving that, and I say if, because they could be placing themselves in the mindset of saying, oh, I love this mother who's taking care of me, but this is not doing what I wanted to do, even though you're a separate seed from what they're saying that they want, right? So when it comes to someone else, yes, we can lift them, but they have to receive that.
Oh, okay.
Now, us. What happens is that when something in our health doesn't go in the direction, I'm just going to keep saying that because it's easier for people to understand, in the direction that we want. They could be diagnosed with something that's not life-altering, but can be like high blood pressure, that can be adjusted with certain things. When we're hearing something like that, the first thing is fear. Right? Then the fear spirals us and we're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It happens with everyone. I feel that this physical body is like a tumbleweed. Have you seen a tumbleweed where they're just sticks all interwoven and it can blow through the desert and just tumble around? But if a stick breaks, then sometimes a few other ones will break and then it can fall apart if they're being broken in a certain way, right? And so our body is like a tumbleweed, right? And so when we have a negative thought, it could break something in us. So a thought is a form of what's our body is holding, right? And so that's why I tell everybody, be very gentle and careful with your thoughts.
So fear is the major
fear, yes, is the catalyst to take you down versus bring you up, right? Okay, so thank you for bringing me back to that. But I was, because there's so many parts to this. And so if you're going into the fear, and as I was stating, it's the body, a stick is a part of the fear, right? As the tumbleweed. And so then your fear can shift your energy and break you down into going into a mindset you don't want to be in. It is okay to live in that space for a very minimal time, meaning a couple of minutes, a couple of hours, not more than 2 days, to say, okay, all right, I don't like this feeling. This is not what I want it to be. But then anchor into that, because that can catapult you to say, no, that's not where I want to be. That's not what I want my body to look like. Then research or start talking to your friends, your family, reach out to a family doctor and just get information to give yourself clarity, to get a sense of being grounded. So I'm starting with that because, as I was telling you, there's all these bits and pieces, but I'm really diving deep so everyone can really, truly understand that, yes, a thought can catapult you from not feeling so good to feeling great. However, if that little stick breaks because of fear and you're all, out of whack and you're tumbling out of control with your mind of thinking all these negative things, what could happen? You're creating a movie that hasn't even happened yet. So that can take you in the opposite direction. So live in the space for a very minimal time of going, oh my gosh, okay, what can I do to better myself, mind, body, and spirit? And allow yourself to say, okay, I'm going to reach out and take this information and resonate with it, pull it in. How does this feel? Fear, there you go, because that's not a coincidence. How does this feel to be able to be where I want to be at my end result, perfect health, right? Knowing, this is about manifesting too, that you can be in that perfect health. Our bodies heal. They heal completely. But we've allowed so many things to cover up what is not feeling right, meaning a pharmaceutical. But we can do other things that allow the body to heal. Meditate. We can use plant-based things. We can go to a homeopathic doctor. We can breath work. Yes, alternative medicines that'll allow the body. Here's the difference between pharmaceutical that'll cover it up, but it doesn't heal the problem.
Yeah.
All these alternative
That is
ways,
temporary. Yeah.
that's right,
Yeah.
will heal the physical body. So being able to manifest, you can manifest the perfect opportunity to be with the perfect homeopathic doctor.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Right?
Yeah, true.
That is true.
Yeah.
Can I give you a little story?
Sure.
So this is a personal story. So I was diagnosed with hyperthyroid, which is slow thyroid. And this was about 3 years ago. And about a year ago, I said to myself, I am going to heal my thyroid. I am is owning the fact that, yes, I am in that space. Nobody can tell me it's not going to happen. So I moved my studio from Potomac, Maryland to Bethesda, Maryland. I had an open house. But I'm living in the space already naturally stating that I'm going to heal my thyroid. But letting the universe bring forth, meaning the master manifest, to what it is that's going to give me the space of doing what I'm saying I'm owning. I am healing my thyroid. I had an open house. I invited everyone in the building. I sent out 3 invitations. The day of the open house, 3 people in the entire building showed up. 1, a homeopathic doctor.
Wow.
So we have everybody in the room, all my clients, my top clients, some friends. We're having a wonderful time. And then all of a sudden I asked her a question and everybody centered around her. It was almost like the sea parted. It was so magical. And I said, do you believe that we can heal our thyroid? She didn't even hesitate. She said, absolutely.
Wow.
I said, I'm going to make an appointment. Here I am 8 months later, and I am a breath away to be completely healed in my thyroid.
Wow.
Because I set the intent, I believed it. I continued to live in the space that it's going to happen. I became the magnet to the answer that it's going to attract to me. It showed up in the form of an open house. And when she said she was a homeopathic doctor, what did I do? I looked up, thank you. And I just smiled. because I knew it was an open door. If it wasn't going to be her, I knew it was going to be a connection through her, right?
Yeah.
So to allow yourself to know, to live in the space of KNOW. I spell it out because there's several people that are listening that only can hear NO because of their childhood, of what their parents said or their caregiver said. No, 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 NO. So I tell people, if you're in that space of that upbringing that all you heard was NO, then spell it in your mind of KNOW. Turn that into your KNOW.
Turn it into now.
That's right. And then that shifts into manifesting what it is, because an NO is a closed door as you think it is. So just shift it and say to yourself, KNOW, which is another know, right? That you know, and you're creating and you're living in the space of manifesting. So that's exactly how we can manifest perfect health.
Wow. That is great, ma'am. So in your journey, like you could have healed so many for the health issues.
Yes.
So is there anything strikes to your mind, like with the energy healing?
Yes.
Or any case study?
Yes. Yes.
So.
Yes. I have one that will never leave my mind, never leave my heart. He came to me through his mother. He was 24 at the time. And he came, let me tell you his background. From when he was 8 years old, he got into football. He went football all the way through all of the school grades up into college. He ended up playing semi-pro ball at the Rose Bowl, all the college large ones before the NFL. Okay. He was a breath away of being chosen to be NFL.
In the team.
Yes, in the NFL team, right? But he was college, so that's semi-pro. He was in a game and they pounced on him and he broke his elbow 1,000 different ways. He had 8 surgeries and had 3 months of physical therapy. I saw his mother first for her things, and as an energy healer, I was clearing her subconscious. And then she started sending all the family members, the husband, the daughter, the 2 sons, and all her clients. So her son came in, her youngest son, and he said, "Miss Terrie, I'm handicapped." When I heard that, I said, no, we're not going to own that. Because when he said that, I am, he owned it. Please, people, don't say that. Don't own it. So he took his arm and he could only lift it like 1/8. That's it. And he said, "I can't bend it. I have a metal rod." And the surgery said, "This is it." Physical therapy said, after 3 months, "This is it. And I can't get any more." And I said, "You're with me now. So he laid on the table and I said, "Okay." So what I did was I cupped his elbow into my hands. And there's a certain way that I breathe. I bring the energy of Source God energy through me. And I visualize that that's coming through me to them, similar to Reiki, if you're familiar with that.
Reiki
But that's,
healing.
yes, but that's just a lily pad, which I call lily pads the beginning, the place where you start, where you can jump to another lily pad. So I started with that many, many years ago. I've been doing this for over 19 years. So I started with that and it catapulted me to where I am. But over all of the years, I've been able to maneuver where I want the energy to go. I am clairvoyant, which allows me to see things in my mind's eye. I'm clairaudient, that allows me to hear things so I can hear simple words or full sentences or someone conversing with me. And the clairsentient is just knowing. So if I was working with someone, I'd say, "Mayuri, I can feel it. I know." And that's when I'm right on top of whatever it is that's holding you. And there's so many things in your body that I can pick up, but I focus on the strongest limiting belief. And then I start digging through many other things. So back to him. So I cupped his elbows, or that one elbow, and I started breathing. And I gently felt this little shift. It was like 3 in my hand. And I sat back and I said, "Okay, just bring your hand to your chest. He went all the way to his chest. I started crying. He started crying. And I mean, to be that place of being able to take that pain of him owning, saying that I'm handicapped away from him is so powerful, to be in that space of oneness with him. But let me tell you exactly what this was about. When he got into that accident, in that moment with all of those tackling him and whatever happened, the mind will go instantly with, oh my God, I am ... I'm just going to let everybody fill in the blank, right? And then he owned it in that very instance. And then when everybody got off of him and he's laying there and his arm is all twisted and being taken off the field, then what happens? The mind takes over. Oh my God, I'll never. Oh my God, this will happen. Oh my God. And he's now living stories that are not true. And he's owning them. So here he is many years later and comes to me. So I shifted the emotional connection to the exact time that he had that accident. Once I shifted it, it didn't matter that he had a rod in there. I just shifted the energy from that elbow of what he said he owned. And I'm like, no, that is not happening. Energetically, poof. And that's why he was able to move that elbow. Sorry about that. But able to move it. And so that's where being able to shift the subconscious that people are planting, or the environment planted in you, meaning your household, the four walls, your caregivers, your mom, your dad, your grandparents, are all of their limiting beliefs are just showing you of what you are supposed to be, when your soul is saying, no, I don't want to be like this. And that's where the duality and the fight comes from within. And that's where rolling back around to manifestation is, because within your four walls, if you're told you need to be a certain way, act a certain way, look a certain way, and you're saying, I want this a certain way, all of this stuff can harbor and hold you from being able to get over here. So let's just pick it apart. Gratitude, KNOW, knowing, truth. You must be able to live in your own truth.
So when you put it into simple words, you say the manifestation is all about knowing.
Meaning knowing, everybody goes to the head. Okay, I know that I have this knowledge. I know it's not the head, my love. It's the heart. It's to bring it in and feel the knowing of oneness, that no matter what you say, I know, KNOW, that it's mine. As I'm looking in your eyes, you see how I'm pulling you in. Like, I know we're one with this space. And I feel the gratitude of, I feel your love right now. I just felt this overwhelming of being one with you, right? That's exactly what just happened. That energy space that we just shared. That's how you can get to love. That's how you can get to creating, to putting more money in your bank account, to getting the better job that you want, to attracting the mate that you want. That oneness and what you just shared with me.
So, ma'am, with all this, how does self-love will impact on manifestation? Like ability to manifest, I would say.
So we talked bits and pieces, like the medical part. You know, when you go to the fear, it can tumble you into another realm that you're constantly thinking that the horrible things are going to happen, right? When you are, like I was bringing you in energetically, I'm going to go over some of the things that we just said, because that's how it was. I love myself, meaning I love myself to project empowerment onto people. So I have to love myself, knowing, KNOW, that I can do it and that you're willing to receive it. Willing, right? And so when I was looking in your eyes and I was sharing that love, and then my heart just fluttered a little bit, you were giving back to me as I was giving through you, right? And so you received the love as I gazed into your eyes, and you're like, wow, I feel safe. I love her for being here. You opened your heart and you energetically gave it to me because my heart did go just a little. So it was that interaction, but it had to start with number one, you loving yourself enough that you could give me that love. Because if you didn't feel love, you wouldn't have given it back. You may not have even felt it when I was doing it through my eyes. So we have to say, I am worthy. I am valuable. This is going to help a lot of relationships as well. Because if you're not feeling valuable, then your partner is going to say, what's wrong? Are you okay? Because they can feel the energy has loosened or lowered. Because when you feel value, when you feel you are loved, look at me lifting up, because it's naturally a state of being one and lifted. But when you're not in that space, your shoulders go down, you hunch, you speak lower, you don't feel like anyone can hear you, or you even want to be heard. So then that's going to cover up and become overprotective of, I'm afraid of, I'm resonating with you because I can see it in your eyes. So you'll cover up. And then what happens is that when you're covering up your love, think about it. Just similar to like this microphone, it has a cushion over it and then the hard microphone is underneath. And so when you're covering up, it's like this foam part of the microphone. You are actually covering up to hold back what you are saying you want. So that way, if you love yourself, you're free to open up. And when you're opened up, what happens? We can pour into you. That's self-love. And it's easy to attract it. You become the master manifester because you love yourself enough to receive. You trust that God's source energy is with you. You are being heard. You're being seen. It doesn't matter how you are triggering other people. Because I may say something that would remind you of something sad, but that's a trigger in you from your childhood. So that's why I said it doesn't matter that I'm triggering you, but what does matter is I can lift you in that trigger. I can talk you through it. I can hold you. I can rock you. I can stare into your eyes and say, I love you. It's okay. I can help you. And when we do that with our family members, our partners, our mothers, our fathers, and feeling it in return without judgment, because judgment is not even a sponge over that microphone. It's a rock. Because then
you're resisting. Yeah.
Exactly. Because judgment is, people, perfect example. I was just talking to a client the other day. This is exactly what happened. I was explaining to her how to talk to her daughter. And she said, I'm already doing it. Do you see what I just did?
Yeah.
I stepped back as if I'm already doing it. Don't tell me. She didn't say don't tell me, but she said, I'm already doing it.
So she's not ready to receive.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So I worked with the daughter and then I came back to her and I said, mother to mother, I said, I know I triggered you, but I'm helping lift you. And if you're already doing it and nothing is changing in your daughter, then shift your delivery. I said, get down with her, get on the floor, sit on her bed, take her to the dining room table, quote unquote, because that's another story we'll talk about couples. But go to the dining room table, talk to her, look at her in the eyes. Don't do it from the kitchen. Be directly connected with her. I said, just shift your delivery. What you're doing, yes, you're doing great. But there's something in what you're doing needs to shift. She started crying because she understood that she doesn't have to stop and say, oh, you're telling me what I'm already doing. It's just shifting, that's all. And keep doing it, but doing it a different, slight way.
Yeah.
Powerful. Takes your breath away, doesn't it? I see you're going to be using that.
Yeah. These things looks very simple, but
yes,
it's a lot of...
thank you for saying it's a lot, because that's the first thing that people are going to say. The reality is it's not.
Oh.
The key is being present. Because when my client, the mother, understood what I said and when she started crying, it's a reality or realization that it's so simple yet very profound that she felt that it was a weakness within her. And I said, no, baby, we're turning it into your strength. Just by it coming from me doesn't mean that you failed. It simply means that you manifest another answer to help you get to that.
Yeah.
To hear it of something she may have been saying at home, how can I change the way my daughter is acting? And then by me being the catalyst to the answer, she manifested it through me.
Yeah.
Because I know as a mother, you're a mother, that there are moments you're saying, how can I, what could I do to make this better? And then it can come through a simple person or a place or an experience that you, because when you said, how can I, you lifted it to God and the connection to receive, manifesting.
If I ask you to put the manifestation in simple words, I would say simple steps. So can you explain that, how it works?
So I'm going to share a disclaimer that it's a lifestyle. Okay. So that, you know, a person, as I'm going to share the simple words, but if a person doesn't live in the gratitude, then that's a key component to being able to manifest. Okay. So it's the gratitude. Trusting, knowing, K-N-O-W, self-love, right? Connection, presence, to be present. So as I was explaining certain things, when certain things come to you and you're not present to say, oh, I was just thinking about that a month ago or a week ago, and then bringing it to, oh, this is coming to me in this form. May it be a body or an experience. And as I said, a body is you're a body coming to me, right? And so those things are all seeds to the garden of manifesting, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So these all things should come together.
Come together as one, knowing that you are valuable, right? That, you know, when I say it, I get emotional because valuing yourself is more than saying, I'm going to eat right. It means that you're going to speak truth because a lot of people are fearful of retaliation or what is going to be caused by speaking truth. But speaking truth also has no judgment. And judgment can creep in very easily. And then there's that push and pull, the arguments. Because judgment, you should have said that. You should have, acted that way. Why didn't you see? That's all judgment. You know, when you speak, it's not about you turning somebody into something else. That's judgment.
Yeah.
Right? When you speak, you're speaking, this bothered me. That's it. You don't have to tell them how to change. You're saying right there in the moment that bothered you, which gives an opportunity for them to think about what they just said and how you responded and the opportunity to communicate with it. So that all has to do with manifesting as well.